I wanted to break down how I wrote this live EP that I just put out the other day. It was pretty much improvised on the spot. I had a few sort of building blocks of ideas, but I hadn't arranged them in any way. So the task was to try and fit them together in some sort of cohesive format on the spot, which is quite tricky, but lots of fun. So some of the ideas I had knocking around was this kick, pretty standard, some percussive sounds like this, some quite lush sort of synth pads, some rather disco-y leads, sounds kind of like Jamiroquai, and then these rather nice pads. So I created most of this stuff on Analog, which is a synth that comes with Ableton. I spent quite a lot of time just tweaking around with the different filters and sounds and effects. I think that's where the fun really comes in. Additionally to these sounds, we also have some sequencers running alongside it. Basically what that means is that I can program in patterns of like drums and bass on the fly to create sort of sonic textures that work with the track. For example, here's a little drum sound that I patterned. And a little bass pattern. Together they work quite nicely with the rest of the tune. You could spend ages just messing around with it. So really, with all these ideas in place, it's just a matter of fitting things together, seeing what works and what doesn't work. That's what I enjoy about making music in this way. There's lots of room for improvisation. It feels very natural. You know, before this, I was making music in a very boring kind of linear format, and there's not a lot of room for creativity. But with this, I can sit down and say, right, I don't really know what I'm going to create. I don't know how it's going to sound, but you come up with something. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, it worked, or at least I think it did. You know, that's the direction that I think my live performances are going. And by the way, what's great is I didn't really have to look at the screen at all. I should also mention that I've got this little mixer down here which controls various parameters in the software. I'm using Ableton, by the way, so I can control things like high pass filters, big delays to create transitions, and then I can of course control the volume of each track as well. So you can keep on sort of tweaking it as you go. Anyway, the best way to see this in action is in the video that I created where I did a live performance. And that's actually the performance that is the EP that I put out. There's no post effects on it, no post editing. It all happened right there and then, which is great. You know, the fact that people can now create music, write it and record it in such a live way and then put it out is mind-blowing, and I'm definitely going to try and do more of that. My music's all linked in my bio and all that stuff, so feel free to check that out. Oh, and also I put out a sample pack of all of these different parts. It's on Bandcamp, and that link should be in my bio. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.